This is the last series of the playoffs in the first round. So Nashville is up against Colorado, and this is a mismatch. I'm not going to lie about it at all, because sometimes the best series are mismatches. 1989, the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks. The Flames had 117 points, the Canucks had 73, and it was a 7-game nail-biter right down to the end. It happens. Now, it doesn't always happen. That's why I have to look back to 1989 for that example. But it does happen. So for Colorado fans, they do have some hope. But really, Nashville looks pretty intimidating right out of the gate. Nashville, 53-18-11 overall, 5-4-1 in their last 10, but they won their last 2 going to the playoffs. 267 goals for, 211 against. On the Colorado side, 43 wins, 30 losses, 9 overtime losses, 4 wins, 5 losses, and an overtime loss in their last 10, but they won their last game, and that was the one that mattered. Put them in the playoffs ahead of St. Louis. 257 goals for, 237 goals against, and the reward for winning that game is Nashville. I've got him on the board. There he is. Because it's kind of a trap series. You know why? Here's why. October 17th, Nashville wins 4-1. November 18th, Nashville wins 5-2. March 4th, Nashville wins 4-3 in overtime. And March 16th, Nashville wins 4-2. Colorado was unable to score a victory against Nashville in 4 meetings. In a series like this, that would be a sweep. So that's it. Sweep. Good night, everyone. No. Let's look a little deeper. The last time that the Avalanche were in the playoffs was 2014. They lost in 7 against Minnesota, and that was a pretty rough series. Nashville, on the other hand, 2017, they were victorious over Chicago. They swept them in the first round. This guy picked Chicago and Washington in the final last year, and nada, no. So they swept Chicago in the first round. They beat St. Louis in 6 in the second round. They beat Anaheim in 6 in the third round in a nasty, violent series. And then against Pittsburgh in the final, which was also a kind of a violent series, they lost in 6. Famously lost in 6. 2016, they beat Anaheim in 7, and they lost to San Jose in 7. Now, I like to have fun with Doug MacLean. Everybody knows I like to have fun with Doug MacLean, and I'm going to do it again. Because it's fun. Going into the 2016 playoffs was the first time that I had done anything like that on this channel. Up until then, it had been just a personal vlog. And I said I thought Anaheim would lose against Nashville. And everybody thought I was crazy. And when Doug MacLean saw that there were a number of people who were taking Nashville to upset the Ducks, he said, "What has Nashville ever done in the playoffs?" And since then, they won the first round, lost the second. They went to the Stanley Cup final last year, and this year they're number 1 going into the playoffs. So, and again, Ronta needs to make a save, and now he's got some of the best stats in the league. His motivational skill is without peer. He has no peer in that sector. He should be a motivational speaker, and he should just go around and go, "You suck," and then they're CEO the next day. And I say that again, I'm just, I kid. Because when you're doing this kind of thing and you're predicting things, you're talking about things, you're going to make statements that after you go, "Oh, did I say that?" And you're going to watch playoff series that play out and you go, "Wow, did I take? I didn't take. I thought," looking at it now, I don't know. When you look at special teams, Nashville, 21.2% power play, 81.9% penalty kill, a 103.1% total. Pretty solid. Colorado, 22.0% power play, 83.3% penalty kill. For boys and girls following along at home, their power play and penalty kill numbers, better than Nashville's, for a total of 105.3. This is what it comes down to, much like what I said with New Jersey. If Colorado can neutralize Nashville 5-on-5, they have every chance in the world of doing this. But Nashville's lineup: Forsberg, Johansson, Arvidsson, Fiala, Turris, Craig Smith, Sissons, Bonino, Watson, Salamaki, Fisher, Hartman, Hartnell, and Tolvanen in any way that they want to put these guys through a blender and throw them on the ice. Pretty impressive and intimidating. On the blue line, Yossi, Ellis, Ekholm, and Subban are the best top four in the NHL. Emelin, Irwin, Boteto. And in net, Rene and Saros played fantastic this year. On the sidelines, I haven't heard that Yarncroke's coming back. If Yarncroke comes back, where do you put him? And I mean that seriously. Here's Yarncroke, who's a pretty solid player. Who do you pull out of the lineup to get him in there? And Yannick Weber's been out for a while. If Weber comes back, I would imagine he'd replace Irwin. But again, it's a pretty solid lineup for Nashville. Colorado, Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, probably, arguably the best line in hockey. And that I say arguably because there's people who are going to go, what about this line? And they're right. There's a lot of really good lines right now going into the playoffs. Jost, Kerfoot, Andrighetto, Nieto, Soderberg, and Como. That second and third line, you can interchange them. You really can. Bork, Compher, and Yakupov. Yakupov got off to a hot start. Kind of fell back. But you know what? He's still performing. He's still on the ice and not complaining about ice time, which is nice. Colin Wilson's there as well as a spare. On the blue line, Zadorov, Barry, Nemeth, Girard, Warsofsky, Barberio. Let's talk about what Joe Sakic did here. Joe Sakic went out and got Sam Girard from Nashville in the Duchesne deal. He picked up Patrick Nemeth on waivers. Now they're playing a top six role for a team that needed a top six because Eric Johnson's out for the foreseeable future. I'm thinking probably another few weeks. I don't see him being back for the first round. We'll see. And of course, Varlamov's out, leaving Bernier as the starter and Andrew Hammond as the backup. Hammond, is that throw-in from Ottawa that wasn't going to play. Now he might play. And I feel a little better from a Colorado fan with the idea of maybe Hammond can get hot again than I would about any of the other options that would have been available if not for that trade. So props to Joe Sakic for that. And really, honestly, for a team that shed Matt Duchene, they really didn't lose anything up front because Jost and Kerfoot have been lights out as rookies. But because there's so many rookies playing so well, and because there's that Barzal guy who had a pretty good year in New York for the Islanders, we don't talk as much about other rookies as we probably would any other year. So where do we land on this? Okay, well, let's take a look at scoring stats. Forsberg leads the way for Nashville, 67 games played, 26 goals, 38 assists, 64 points. If you want a Hart Trophy nominee that's not Patrick or not Rene from the Nashville Predators, it'd be Forsberg. Arvidsson, 78 games played, 29 goals, 32 assists, 61 points. PK Subban, 82 games, 16 goals, 43 assists, 59 points. Ryan Johansson, 79 games, 15 goals, 39 assists, 54 points. Roman Josi, 75 games, 14 goals, 39 assists, 53 points. That's two defensemen with double-digit goals in top five scoring on this team. That's how solid their defense is. Smith, very quietly, 79 games, 25 goals, 26 assists, 51 points. Kevin Fiala, who I talk up anytime I get a chance, 80 games, 23 goals, 25 assists, 48 points. And Turris, 65 games, 13 goals, 29 assists, 42 points. Turris didn't perform as well in Nashville as I think they might have wanted him to from a goals perspective. But from a points perspective, he's right in around where he normally would be. And it's interesting because think about it. This is a matchup of the Matt Duchene teams. Nashville got in on that three-way trade. So these teams both benefited from Matt Duchene leaving Colorado. Scoring for Colorado, McKinnon leads the way, of course. 74 games, 39 goals, 58 assists, 97 points. Mikko Rantanen quietly, 81 games, 29 goals, 55 assists, 84 points. Was anybody talking about Rantanen much this year? Outside of Colorado fans. I know Colorado fans were like 84 points in 81 games. I think he would have got more press if he'd played in like LA, New York, Toronto, one of the big meccas. Landeskog, 78 games, 25 goals, 37 assists, 62 points. Tyson Barrie, 68 games, 14 goals, 43 assists, 57 points. Kerfoot, 79 games, 19 goals, 24 assists, 43 points. Soderberg, 77 games, 16 goals, 21 assists, 37 points. Como, 79 games, 13 goals, 21 assists, 34 points. And Matt Nieto, 74 games, 15 goals, 11 assists, 26 points. And, of course, Bernier is being thrust into the starter position. 37 games, 19 wins, 13 losses, 3 overtime losses, 2.85 goals against, and a .913 save percentage. I didn't include Saros. I didn't include Varlamov because if Rene goes down and they have to go with Saros, they're done. If Bernier goes down, it's not Varlamov that'll play, it's Hammond, and there's not much of a sample size there. Overall, again, special teams, a mild nod to Colorado there. 5-on-5, I would definitely give the nod to Nashville. They scored 10 more goals than did Colorado. They allowed 26 goals less. In net, it's for me, it's Nashville, and on the blue line, it's Nashville. So as much as I want to see a really close series, and I want to see Colorado do well, to me, this playoff matchup is more about the fact that Colorado made the playoffs at all. And Colorado, for the first time in a while, looks like they have upward momentum no matter what happens in this series. I'm taking Nashville in 6. I'll say 6 because they're division rivals. I know Nashville owned them during the year, but you know what? They're division rivals, and McKinnon is going to work some magic in the playoffs. If not for Taylor Hall, McKinnon would be the one I'd be saying should win the Hart Trophy, but it's probably Hall's. It's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I do think Nashville emerges as the winner. So I'm taking Nashville to win it in 6. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And again, it is a trap. This is a trap series. And I don't think Nashville and Colorado have met in the playoffs before. Nope, they haven't. I'm going through here, and that's never happened. So for Colorado, yeah, their last playoff series was in 2014 against Minnesota. They lost 4-3, and they allowed 22 goals and scored 20. But considering they had 48 points last year and 95 this year, it's a pretty good total, pretty good season. And no matter what happens with this series, Colorado can hold their heads high based on how this season's gone for them. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.